one thing that a lot of coaches, including my client or clients who come to me, and we all have this common theme about selling. So I want to know, when I talk about selling, what comes up for you? What's your feeling word? Does it feel icky? Does it feel like pushy? Does it feel like a car salesperson? Even though nowadays people, I don't know, when's the last time I go shop for a car? I can't remember. I feel like I always do my own research. And so that by the time I get to the dealership, they're not really selling because I have a need. I have the research and I go, and these are the things that I want. If you think about it, it's like the process of how you're going to acquire clients in the online space. So if you have a coaching business or you're planning to have a coaching business, I would love to hear, do you want to have one that's online, or do you rather have one that's you're doing the referral, you're relying on the referral, you're relying on the one-on-one? Like what feels aligned to you? And everyone is different. There's no right or wrong answer. You can have an online coaching business, or you can have a coaching business that runs full-time entirely just by word of mouth, right? If you have that background, you have someone who keeps sending you the referral, which some people do. I know there's a coach, a fellow coach, and she built her coaching business by just collaborating with therapists and getting referral from her local community. Totally doable, but I would love to hear, do you love to have an online coaching business, or do you rather have one that's in serving your community? All right, so what is that energy word when it comes to selling? And this is something I realized and I noticed that a lot of coaches are not doing, which is the essential part of your business. You need to be able to sell. So the problem is, a lot of us comes from a big heart. We wanted to serve, we want to help, and there we truly believe that coaching can benefit everyone, right? Which is true. Everything is mindset, and in order to be successful in doing anything, a lot of time you do have to work on that mindset. But if you are someone who feels have that energy around selling, then chances are you are not doing the selling part. You might think you're doing the selling, but you're not doing the selling. Instead, you're collecting a lot of friends through your social media network. You may have conversation, and this is a true story. I have one client who reached out and we start working together, and she said she was not sure of networking. Like, she had a lot of people who network with her, who love her presence, who invite her to their group, to the events. But at the end of the day, she didn't have any business. And when we start talking together, and what I found out was that she wasn't doing the selling. She wasn't talking about herself or what she does enough, or in the way that get people interested. So if you're not talking about yourself, and if you're not selling, if you're not telling people about your program, then essentially people have no idea of that you even offer this in the first place. And one of the problem that a lot of coaches are experiencing, let's say you're hosting a webinar or event or workshop. If you don't talk about it, or if you don't talk about it enough, then people actually don't know that you have a workshop. People don't know that you have this program. And I used to think that selling is like you avoid it, you ghost it, and pretend that it doesn't exist. I'll post story, I'll post picture, I'll post a lot of things, but I don't really send out that invitation to, hey, this is what I do. I work with clients. And there's no seeding. And this is a term that we use in coaching a lot, right? You want to seed and plant the seed. How do you plant the seed? You want to provide that information. Hey, this is what I do, and I actually offer this professionally. If there's a need for you, this is where you can book a call, or this is where you can come and join me. So the problem is twofold. There are coaches who's all here to serve, who want to help, and part of it is because the code of ethic. Some of us are certified or accredited by the International Coach Federation. So there's the code of ethic that doesn't allow you to talk about the outcome. It doesn't allow you to talk about what you're promising, and that becomes hard for your ideal client to understand what is it that you help them with, and therefore someone don't see the value in booking a call with you. And that's part of the selling. The other part is that a lot of us come from a place of heart, and we want to serve. We are here to provide, and so we create a lot of value. We build a lot of value, and people do see that. This is why you have friends in your friend zone where they're just loving what you do, but they don't necessarily actually buy from you. How do you solve the problem of selling without violating the code of ethic, and also selling so that you are not just collecting a whole bunch of people in your network, you're not being friend zoned by all these network that you have attended? How do you solve this? The way that you solve this is you do it through the content that you're going to create. The big mistake I see is when you're creating content, your value posts are great, but you're not balancing together with the selling. What are some of the posts that would be considered as selling? Selling, it's about asking permission to, hey, if you do see the value, hey, would it be okay for me to share my service with you? So you would sprinkle that throughout the content that you're creating, and that needs to be have a balance. So let's say I can post 3 times a week every single week, or I can go on live every single week at this time. And so in your content, what you want to do is some of the days, maybe three week, right? You're only talking about the value, the education, the tips that you wanted to share to help someone to overcome and achieving something. That would be the value post. Now, to balance with that, how many of your posts this week can actually talk about what you do inside the program? How many of your posts have actually talked about this is what you get, this is what you're going to experience inside my program? And this becomes a problem because you don't talk about your offer enough. People have no idea, why should I even booking a call, right? Booking a call is a commitment. You're asking someone to commit to you when they don't even know you. That's like having a handshake and they say, hey, can you marry me? And nobody does that, right? So that's why you create content with value posts, but also promotional posts. And that's what this is something that I teach inside the Profitable Coach Formula. In the last module, this is exactly how I help coaches mapping out their content structure so that not only do you have the value post, you also have the promotional post. And how you show up in the promotional post is going to be very different than how you show up in the value post. Now, in the promotional post, it's not just here, book a call with me. Again, that's a commitment, right? So what would be a promotional post? Promotional post would be example of, also booking a call would be an example, or you're offering your lead magnet. A lot of you have created a lead magnet and you're saying, there's nobody on my email list. There's nobody downloading my free stuff. How many times have you talked about it this week? Probably not that many, right? Do people even know where to download it? Do people even know where to grab it? So if you're not talking about it enough, that becomes a problem. And that's the reason why there's no lead that lead into clients. Promotional post. Back to the promotion post. What else counts as promotional post? Promotional posts also include things that you have accomplished, right? Many of you are starting brand new on this journey, so you might not have a whole lot of client testimonial. You don't have any things to demonstrate the value and for someone to give you a really shiny and beautiful testimonial that you can share. So how you overcome that is by talking about yourself. And I know that I say that word because talking about ourselves makes us feel like, yeah, we're a humble human being, right? We probably grew up in a culture where it's humble. Talking about ourselves is not in our bone, it's not in our blood. But if you have a business, you have to talk about what you were able to accomplish through that transformation, right? I'm not talking about, oh, you brag about yourself. This is how amazing I am. This is how great I am. I want you to start talking about yourself in the place of your transformation. What were you able to overcome by doing the exact things that you're going to help your client to achieve? That, my friend, is also a promotional post. It's about promoting yourself so that you position yourself as someone who's qualified to work with clients on a one-on-one base or group coaching or actually creating a program for this, right? You need to start talking about yourself. So 2 types of posts: value posts and also promotional posts. And if I were to do nothing at all just this week, I would encourage you to go back and this is your action step. I want you to go back and I want you to look at, okay, how many of your posts within the last week had all been value posts, meaning they're all about tips, it's about educating people and bringing their awareness, it's about maybe showing them what works, what are some of the strategies that you help clients achieve, what the tools that you've been using with your client. How many of those are the value posts? And I want you to be honest with yourself and also with me. So comment down below once you figure out like how many promotional posts you had last week. I want you to drop the number into the chat and let me know how many of you actually talked about yourself, talked about your lead magnet, and talked about the one-on-one program that you have that you would like to have offered. Here's your call to action. Do that review. Do an honest assessment of how many promotional posts I actually talk about, why me, why I matter for that someone to have a different perspective, a different life, or different view about the things that they're feeling stuck. Okay, so how many of those posts are actually promotional? And if you have a lead magnet, there's actually a whole strategy, which I won't be able to get into in this video, but there's a whole strategy in terms of you treat it like an offer. If you want people to jumping on to your email list, you want to build that list, you want to grow that list, then you need to start treating your free lead magnet as something that's like a program, right? So you're going to set up your calendar. And again, this is something I teach inside the Profitable Coach Formula and help coaches map out the whole entire 30 days because I want you to treat that lead magnet like it's your one-on-one offer. Because that is your first step. A lot of time when I help coaches design those lead magnet, that is their potential clients' first step in getting into the one-on-one program. If you're not talking about people's first step, let alone 10 steps forward, right? So most people, that's a big jump into 10 step forward. Most people just want that first step. And that's where your lead magnet comes in. You want that, and you want to talk about it as part of your promotional post, in addition to just talking about how transformation, what type of transformation that you were able to experience through coaching to demonstrate and to use yourself as a testimonial so that more people can hear about what you have to offer to help them to solve the problem. All right. So if you have not already, right, this is a big quick plug for myself. If you have not signed up to the visibility challenge that's going to kick off on Monday, June 9th, there's a link. I will share the link. Also, if you go to visibilityforcoaches.com, you'll be able to grab a seat and join us inside the group. We're going to do this live. I am going to do this live, and you are welcome to watch a replay, but I would encourage you to come live because I actually give out gifts during the live. And we're not talking about monetary gift. I'm talking about gift that would actually take you a step forward in your coaching business. If you want those gifts, come to the live. So you can join me in the challenge. And what we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, clarify your message. Now, that is probably your first step in promoting yourself, right? You need to be clear in terms of who you want to be in front of so you're not wasting your time and energy just being on social for the sake of it. Your time being on social should be intentional, should be purposeful. It should lead to getting yourself either an email subscriber, or it's a conversation, or it's a connection that would actually lead into a sale. So here's what I'll do this week is I will go back, look at the value posts that you have shared. Is there anything that you have shared within the last 7 days that talk about your business, talk about yourself, or talk about the transformation that you have to offer, and share your finding or your aha moment down in the comment with me. And next week, we'll come back for another episode of what I'll do this week if I want to get 3 coaching clients. And I will see you soon. Bye.